One of 3 fighters on this card that will be cornered by the Hall of Famer Khabib Nurmagomedov. The man who dominated inside the octagon has now become one of the prominent coaches in the sport of mixed martial arts. Here's more on the new head man at Eagle MMA.
Nice, nice. Make him flip. Yes, yes, yes.
Khabib is one of the smartest fighters you ever seen.
Go round. Go, 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 go. Давай, давай, давай.
He's the guy who can bring everybody together.
He's meant to lead these guys.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
January 1st, 2025, away from your family, running a training camp. Is this what you want to be doing with your life on January 1st, 2025?
To be honest, no.
Today, I want to say it was my last fight. And no way I'm gonna come here without my father. Today is my last fight here in UFC.
He was my coach, father, friend, like he was like everything.
When he passed, I think Khabib lose something, not just father, something more than father, you know. He lose the man who sacrificed his life to his son, you know.
Following his father's death in 2020, Khabib Nurmagomedov retired from competition and became head coach of Eagles MMA, the team his father Abdulmanap built. Shortly after guiding his childhood friend and teammate Islam Makhachev to a championship in 2022, he walked away from the sport entirely.
2 minutes.
But after more than a year away, Khabib felt obligated to return.
Good job.
With Abdulmanap gone, you know, the void was Khabib. Khabib needed to come and step up.
I have so much knowledge to be away from these guys. I have to be here and I have to share with this knowledge with these fighters.
He have to become his father, right? And I don't think he wanted to be his father because he preferred his father will be here and he be behind his father.
This life, like coaching life, is completely different than fighting life because I just can only talk. I cannot do nothing. You know, that's why it's like a little bit headache for me.
In carrying forward Abdulmanap's legacy, Khabib has adopted all of the characteristics of his father.
Someone tired, you can go home. Right, too.
The team says their coaching styles are nearly identical,
Every day, kill everybody.
although Khabib tends to bring a different level of intensity.
Outside the gym, he's our brother,
Grind.
but when he come to the gym, everything is changed, you know. He always serious, he always push us, no excuse, you know. Training.
Hands up. Wishes.
Sometimes I want to like stop him and ask him, hey man, I'm training with you all life, but I don't remember when we grappler 15 minutes no stop.
How long are you going to do this for, coaching, in the manner in which you're doing it?
When these guys finish, I'm gonna finish. I hope it's gonna be very fast because I'm tired about this, you know. We have so many belts, we have so many champions and so many different organizations. When they finish, I'm gonna finish too.
Well, thanks to our own Brett Okamoto for that brilliantly done piece. Joining us now is world-renowned coach Trevor Wittman. Trevor, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yes. It's always a pleasure when we can talk to you because you are one of the most brilliant minds in the sport. And we know that you have done before what Khabib will be doing on Saturday night, which is cornering back-to-back fighters with titles on the line. But before we get into what actually fight night feels like as a coach, tell me what it's like preparing 2 athletes in camp who are competing on the same night. Does it make it easier for you, or is it harder with dialing in the details for both of them?
I would say the hard part is the piece of dialing it in and making sure that I'm focused on the 2 different game plans and what we are bringing to the table. When it comes to the athletes, if they're, close in weight, I think it's a huge benefit. They get to spar together. They peak at the same time. We're running the hills. They get to motivate each other, and they're both looking at the same date, the same target. So I think the benefits outweigh what I have to do. Like as a coach, it's more about the athlete than about the coach. So I will deal with those issues, but just the atmosphere of being able to share a card, especially when you're the main event and co-main event, like that's really cool. You guys are really, the show. So I mean, it's a rough process for the coach, but very enjoyable process.
UFC 268, you guys were the show. You had Kamaru Usman and Rose Namajunas. That was November of 2021. The co-main event, the main event, belts on the line for both, which means a potential of 5 rounds. What was that night like for you? Because I remember all of us kind of observing you going between and sprinting and changing the T-shirt to make sure you have the right shirt on for the right fighter. I mean, for you, what is the lead up to those moments in the back like?
Yeah, in the locker room, I would say that's the hardest part for me as a coach, just because I've got to make sure that, the hard part is when I'm out at another fight, I don't know where my other fighter is mentally. And that's where it was hard on me, is wondering, because, I love the mental part of it. And I've got to make sure that I keep these guys in tune. If they're starting to, you get a look on their face and they're starting to overthink the fight, I like to be in the room so I can help control that and make sure that we're saving it for when we get out to the octagon.
Actively somebody who's competing in the octagon, but yet you have someone backstage. How structured is their schedule of what you want them to be doing during that warm-up? Do you kind of leave it up to the athlete and where they feel? And then also, how do you choose who you feel like is most trusted in that room to kind of take the reins while you are away?
Yeah, each athlete is different. I do create a schedule and make sure I choose the right person that's going to very, observe everything that's going on. Again, the mental piece is the most important piece. Warming the guys up, I think, is somewhat easy. It's just creating that schedule and making sure that someone's there for them. Because again, those fighters, they want to watch their teammate fight. So that you got the screens back in the locker room. So a lot of times the fighter's going to want to watch the fight, but I've got to keep them getting their warm up and get them active. So that way they're coming out with the sweat. But it takes a little bit of scheduling. And, the funny piece is when I go back and remember it, the time just flies so fast in a situation like that. And it was very smooth the night that we did it, but it was the buildup and the thinking through that. Man, I was stressing out so bad about that. And it's just those little things. Hey, are they going to have enough water? Are they staying hydrated? Are they getting warm enough or not overworking? So those were huge stresses for us. Obviously it turned out very good for us. It's a stressful thing.
It certainly did turn out well, but I'm glad you brought that up because, we're also talking about it a lot. And I remember back in 2021 when you did this, we were talking to you. I think I interviewed you and we were talking about it a lot. There was a lot of eyes additional on you there. So I guess what would your maybe advice be for Khabib, a guy who, of course, knows what it feels like to compete in the octagon, but also now have all these extra wrinkles added to this newfound role of coaching that he's doing on Saturday night?
I think if I were to look back on it, I would say don't overthink it. That was the biggest problem that I had. I was overthinking everything. And, when you're the top two pieces on the card, it makes it really tough. I remember right after the press conference, it was a very heated press conference. And, man, that was really, really tough on me from that point of the press conference. That's where I really started to overthink the things. And, really started living in my own head on, hey, this could happen, that could happen. And I teach against that. Like, you never want to create doubt or create these own scenarios. You want to be prepared for them. And I think I could have did better with that because I lost a lot of sleep over that. And if I were to do that again, it's, don't overthink that process. Get to the locker room. Everything will flow good. He's a wonderful coach. Khabib he's really got a great thing going. I think he's going to shine that evening. I don't think it's going to be a big bother for him at all.
Well, listen, Trevor, we appreciate your insight. You fooled a lot of us because we thought you were having the time of your life. So I'm sorry that you had any additional stressors, but I'm glad it all worked out.